candidate.
What happened in Ikwerre local government is that the ability of the leadership of the LGA to galvanize support and consult with everybody and see what the young man have done in the past 2 years, and that is why everybody stepped down for him. There was no imposition of candidate.
The emergence of Honorable Samuel Wanosike was as a result of his immense contribution towards the development of Ikwerre local government.
The elders of the party in the Ikwerre LGA decided to talk to themselves and say, no, let us not destroy a winning team. That Honorable Samuel Wanosike should carry on for the next 3 years. It's a consensus, nobody dissented.
Well, today primary is a unique one for the fact that all the leaders are present at the primary. No person has disputed the consensus candidate.
I got the message, but my mind wanders. For some reason, I was playing Shazam, trying to figure out what song was playing in the background. But anyways, we get the message. Well, helping us to explain what needs explaining is Mr. Bouchi. Nsirim is a social commentator, and he joins us via phone. Good morning, Mr. Nsirim.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much for joining us. Now, let's look at the strength of the third tier of government in Nigeria, which is the local government. How powerful is that tier of government right now in the country?
Well, Sam, the third tier of government that we all call local government today, we have to actually look at the actual basis and the reasons why the third tier of government was formed. And and in course of making researches, I got to find out that the actual essence why the third tier of government was formed was for the purposes of decentralization and local autonomy. And then when the people have local autonomy, it now gives them direct representation at the local level. Now, as the word goes local, this part of this third tier of government, for me, I consider it the most important tier of government because it's the part of government we have that are in the urban areas. And of course, Ikwerre local government has also metamorphosed to be an urban area, of course, because of the developmental strides going on there. So the point I'm making here clearly is that the local government, the third tier of government, is the most important part of government. You see, because that's the actual area where the citizens are involved in determining specific local public needs. It is in this local, this third tier of government, the local tier. They determine specific needs, like, that's where the people meet, interface with the people in government to actually tell them the direct needs that will have bearing on the people. You get the point I'm making?
Yes,
because
I do.
The people at the second tier, state government, may not actually be meticulous enough to find out the direct needs of the people in the rural areas. It is the people at the helm of affairs, the people that are saddled with the responsibilities to man this local government, that are the actual people that interface day to day with the people at the local level. They are the ones now that now tell them this is what we need. We need water, we need light, electrification, we need roads, we need health center. You call it primary, you call it secondary. Okay, maybe in this case, because of course the local government do not have the financial muscle to handle secondary and primary and secondary healthcare, secondary healthcare. So they tell them they need healthcare, they need markets. The social amenities that actually have direct impacts on the people that actually create it. Those that create it are the people saddled with the responsibility to man the third tier of government. And so, for me, I think that the third tier of government that we all call local government is the most important tier of government in this part of the world, and even anywhere.
That's beautiful. So, the point you raised as to the importance of that tier is local autonomy, decentralization of power, and direct impact to the people.
Yeah.
Now, how has the local government tier lived up to these particular responsibilities in Nigeria?
Well, looking at it holistically, I will say for free that they've actually not lived up to expectation. And for me, I will not give them the blames totally. The reason why I will not blame them totally is because I understand their constraints. Sam, as I speak with you today, the law of our land states clearly that we are supposed to have elected persons to man the affairs of the local government, right?
Yeah.
We have 772 local governments in Nigeria. Sam, do you have an idea of how many of those local governments actually have people that are elected into office? I doubt if we have up to 30% of that particular number that are elected. Only for us here in this part of the country, maybe let me be very specific here, maybe in River State and maybe in some of the southern states and all that. That's where you see elected chairmen. And so you now ask yourself, if those that are the crafters of our laws, the crafters of our constitution, made it simpliciter, made it very clear that the people to man affairs are supposed to be elected. Until date, some governors do not still see a reason why they should conduct elections in their various LGAs as to bring in people that the masses, the citizens themselves will choose to come and man the affairs of the local government. There are people they use, they call them caretaker members, which you and I know are aliens. They are aliens to the laws of our land. Why do they do this? They do this because they want to still be the ones to man the resources of those particular local governments. And so, even those that are given the responsibilities to function, they are untwisted. Unless, of course, for very few local governments that have elected chairmen, just like I said, like in River State here, where, of course, we have elected chairmen who are working. And I can tell you for free, it's not a blank. It's not a blank statement. There are people that are local government chairmen that are actually doing well. That I can tell you that what they are doing in their various local governments, they have direct impact on the people. Where you see situations where they build schools, you see situations where they build markets, you see situations where they handle even personal needs of the citizens. Where they tell you people are doing burial, people are going to school, they give them scholarships, they give them money to even aid them in some situations to get married and all that. Sam, let me tell you, there are persons living in some rural areas that do not have access to government house and cannot even have access to the government house. So for them, the governor they see is their local government chairman. The governor they see, some of them at the ward level, is their councillors. And so if we do not have elected councillors and elected local government chairmen, we will have the issues of proper governance. You get the point I'm trying to make here?
I do get the point.
But for those that are elected into office, there are some, I do not know if we have that time to start actually pointing out local government chairmen, and that I'll tell you that I've done well, and you see that it is very, very clear that what they are doing has a direct bearing, has a direct impact on the people.
Okay. Now, because elections do not happen in every part of Nigeria, that obviously means that the law has been broken. And it also shows that, to a large extent, states are run based on the feeling of the governors. If the governor feels there should be elections, then there would be. And that poses a huge problem. I don't really want to go into, what follows that, because, again, as you said, we may not have time. But I'd like to know. Now, in parts where there are elections, parts, like River State, of course, some have said it is selection and not election. Do you agree?
I don't. That's mere speculation. It's speculative. You can't say people are selected. How do you select people in a state like, okay, let's bring this conversation back here to our state. How do you select people in 23 local governments? How do you go about doing that? Just yesterday, the People's Democratic Party, which of course I'm a member, had their primaries to elect the aspirants who now, as I'm speaking to you right now, of course, are candidates to fly the flag of the parties at the various local governments. Nobody, when I mean nobody, can clearly say that these persons were selected or they were imposed on them. Sam, let me tell you what happens. The party has guidelines, and of course the party has the guidelines to get candidates. It is done either through elections, it is done either through consensus. Consensus is also democratic because, of course, people need to come together to agree that it is this person that we want to run for this position for us. I don't know if you get the point I'm trying to make. Now, if people at a particular, using local government as a case study, if stakeholders in a particular local government come together and say they want Mr. they have a right to say this person is a consensus aspirant. You get the point I'm trying to make. Now they present that particular aspirant for primaries. And so if there is anybody that feels that he's been disenfranchised, or maybe he was not invited, or he's not very comfortable with whatever it is the stakeholders of that particular local government has done, the person is at liberty to visit the party secretariat and pick up a nomination form.
Well, you see, Mr. Nsirim, it goes beyond if, because the concept of consensus is something that goes against human behavior. Now, do you believe in God, Mr. Nsirim?
If I believe in God?
Yeah.
Certainly I do.
Okay. Now, do you know that not everybody believes in God?
No, I don't know. I don't know where you're driving at, Sam. Let me tell you this.
I'm trying to drive at the idea that no matter how beautiful a plan, a person, a strategy looks and feels, there are persons that must be against it, not because they want to, but it's human nature. So,
Sam, even Jesus Christ that came to this world, we are meant to know through the good book, the Bible, that he committed no sin. And yet there are persons on planet Earth then, as at when he reigned, and that felt that he committed sin, and they felt he was liable.
Exactly. So that proves the point that the consensus arrangements.
Sam, that does not debunk the fact that Jesus Christ was sinless. The point I'm trying to make here, it is what we are discussing here. It's a democratic process. A democratic process. There is nowhere in the world that everybody must align to a particular system. Everybody must align to a particular decision. Everybody must align to a particular norm. It's not done anywhere. It's not done. It is democracy. It is the majority that will have their way. The minority will certainly have their say. That's why I tell you, Sam, that it is a working process. If the party have set up guidelines to actually achieve a particular goal, what you need to do as a party man is to either align yourself. And let me tell you, the party is democratic enough. Of course, that's why the party allowed or gave room for everybody to go and pick up a nomination form. I was saying this before you came in. I was trying to say that when the party stakeholders in a particular local government or a particular ward, as the case may be, feels that they have an aspirant as a consensus aspirant, and if you, Sam, and you are from that particular ward or local government, and you do not see that does not go down well with you, it is simple. You are at liberty to go and pick up a nomination form and then present yourself to the people. Which in this case is the party. You present yourself to the primaries.
Okay.
So, Sam, I can tell you there are cases where leaders of the party met and said they want Mr. A. That Mr. A is their consensus. And one person will stand up and say, no, they are not he is not comfortable with this. He's going to protest one. And he will come, and the people will align.
Okay. So,
the person will win, even the appearance of
Mr. Nsirim,
I
I think your point has been made. You have to hold on, however, because it's 11:30. So Andrew has to take the headlines. After that, we'll continue this conversation. So don't go anywhere.
Okay. I'm out.
All right. So Andrew is here for the headlines. This conversation continues after that.
Headline News, Nigeria Info on
92.3.
Headline News.
Hello, good morning. I am Ifemi Andrew. Striking non-teaching staff of universities to meet with federal government this week. Rivers PDP holds primaries for chairmanship aspirants. Police condemned for arrest of protesters at Lekito Plaza on Saturday. NSA service chiefs to meet with governors, others over insecurity. On the foreign scene, significant milestone as 15 million people take COVID vaccine in the United Kingdom. In business, activities of investment companies in the state stir concern as affected investor laments delayed payment of his return on investment. In entertainment, Nicki Minaj's father, Robert Maraj, dies after being struck in a hit-and-run accident. In sports, Premier League side Fulham confirms striker Alexander Mitrovic tests positive for coronavirus. Contact our newsroom on 900-0017. Good morning.
We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info. We crossfire in the morning. Crossfire in the morning. Get into the midday dialogue and tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station. All for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Back, remember that safety is your personal responsibility. COVID-19 is not a hoax. It's still the Midday Dialogue 92.3 Nigeria Info. Rivers PDP holds primaries for LG chairmanship. And we're talking about the strength of the third tier of government, which is the local government area. Our guest, Bouchi Nsirim, is still on the phone. You're welcome once again, Mr. Nsirim.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, you talked about the consensus thing with the PDP, and whoever is an aggrieved member does not agree. There are channels and platforms through which they can express that grievance. Now, let's talk about the capability of this chairman if they eventually emerge. What functions they can or cannot do. Autonomy of the local government area. This is impossible to talk about or even achieve if we do not talk about financial autonomy. What is the state of the autonomy of local government areas in River State?
Well, what I would say here clearly, I do not want to sound as though I'm here to precinct anybody, but I want to actually state the obvious with what I've seen in River State. I wish other states will borrow a leaf from what is happening here in River State.
How so?
I say this because the governor of River State, Chief Barrister Yesowike, gives the chairman what's in the local parlance we can call free hand. He gave them a free hand, which of course it is the financial autonomy we are talking about. Of course, you know that there are laws, there have been laws legislated in the National Assembly on the need why the third tier of government should be given total autonomy, which of course means that funds from FAC should go direct to the local government accounts. I doubt if that has started happening though, but I'm aware that the funds that are sent to the JAC accounts are of course in River State are remitted directly to the local government coffers. And so if that funds is remitted, what it means is that they do have financial autonomy. Of course, as it concerns the money account, talking about federal government here. And so that it becomes the responsibility of the people, the citizens in the various local governments, to now ensure that they put those saddled with the responsibility to govern them, to put them on their toes from time to time to ensure that they do what they were asked to do when they were voted. You know that, okay, like for instance, they started another round of bringing in local government chairmen. I'm sure that most of them now in their various campaign slogans, I listened to the clips of that of Engineer Samuel Wanosike, where of course he was pointing out the 5-point agenda that he has. This also is replicated in the remaining 22 local governments. I'm sure all of them have various agendas. Now, it is incumbent on the citizens to ensure that they mark them closely so that the funds that is released to them, they use it to actually carry out projects in their various local governments that will have direct bearing on the people. Sam, the reason why I can authoritatively tell you that in River State, that the governor has given them all their funds. Do you know why? I listened to the governor when he was going from one local government to another local government to commission projects. He was saying it every day, that one of the major criteria for anybody to come back and vie for the position of chairmanship is that the person should have performed creditably well in that particular local government. Sam, you will agree with me that if the governor, for instance, if what comes in from FAC account is 100,000 and he releases 50 or 60,000, he will not have the moral courage to come out to the public every day to tell Rivers people that, or to tell members of the PDP that the only reason they should elect anybody to come back to contest for chairmanship under the flag of PDP is that they must ensure that the person has worked.
Well,
he will not have that moral courage.
Nsirim.
For him to be saying that, what it means is that he's been giving them funds to perform. And so,
What?
it is necessary.
Hold on. I would like to react to that point as it holds, as they say on our other station. This is not a country run by moral courage, you know, and I think that point you've made is what you got from what the governor did or said, not exactly what it is. It's what you got from it. Now,
It's perception. Sam, hold on over a bit. I heard one of the chairmen, Engineer Samuel, one of your programs. He's a council chairman. He said emphatically, he was very blunt. He said that the government of Rivers, that Rivers people should thank the governor of Rivers State, that the governor of Rivers State do not hold back a dime from what is due them. That young man is a council chairman. And I've also heard other council chairmen, the mayor of Port Harcourt,
Mr. Nsirim, you do not expect these men. You do not expect these men in their positions to speak against the governor. As a matter of fact, I would like you to help, Mr. Nsirim. Hold on. I want this to be a conversation, and you're making it a bit difficult. So here's the thing.
No.
Now, as a party man, I expect you, to a certain extent, to defend your party. And I can understand why.
No, I'm not here to defend party. I'm not here to defend party.
I would also,
has nothing to do with party.
I would also, in certain positions, you know, want to defend Nigeria info. Not when it's clearly wrong, anyways. But you can understand why I will have that position. So
I do.
The point I'm trying to make is, when you say the governor has given free hand to two fathers as regards parenting, free hand would mean two different things. For one father, it might be, you know what, the kids can watch TV till 10, 11. For another father, it could be, they could be out and come back home by 8, 9. So free hand is defined by different terms as it refers to different people. But we're looking at what are the provisions of the Constitution, not how does the governor feel, not what is his moral justification. What does the law provide? What is the provision for local government chairmen? How should it be run? And if anybody is not meeting that standard, then they are falling short, irrespective of feelings. So the question clearly is, has the Rivers State government met the standards for the provisions for the autonomy of local government areas? Yes or no?
Sam, I am not a serving chairman of council. I am not the treasurer of any local government. That's why when I started talking, I made references. I said I have heard incumbent chairmen come on your radio station and even other radio stations
Yeah.
to say that they are giving what is due them. What you talked about is financial autonomy.
That's right.
Wasn't that how we started this?
Yeah.
But when you say whether they are giving free hand, the free hand everybody here knows, or everybody should be talking about, it's financial autonomy.
Surely.
And the chairman have come here in different forums to say that yes, that the government of Rivers State has been giving them what is due them. Sam. You know that in our country today, nothing is hidden. The monies accrued to local governments are made known in fact at the federal government level. So even before the money trickles down here, the ordinary man on the street knows how much is due Port Harcourt local government. He knows how much is due Obiakpor local government. And so it is now the Obiakpor local government chairman and his team that will come to tell you and I, Sam, if truly that funds that was released by the federal government gets to them. I am not working in any local government at the moment. I have to come and tell you if truly these funds are being released to them. So I have every authority to premise my perception on what those that are in government presently have said.
On what they have said.
Until anyone comes to say contrary, I would like to align myself with the fact that the government of Rivers State as of today is actually giving the local government chairman what is due them.
Okay. Now to the final question, Mr. Nsirim. A lot of people don't seem to know what the functions of the chairman. You know, we have no idea what the job description is. Maybe because we don't study enough or the information is not in public domain. Sometimes you see people ask the governor something that should be handled by the local government chairman. First of all, why do you think this is? Secondly, what can be done to enlighten people further of what the function should be? And third, it would be nice if you give us some of those functions, if you know any.
Well, it brings us back to the issue of constitutionality. That's how I started this conversation. You know, it will be an aberration if you start telling the local government chairman to do what is not in his purview.
Yeah.
Sam, the local government chairman, these issues we talk every day, we hear people running around that there's fire outbreak and they are running to Commissioner of Special Duties, they are running to any of the IOCs to bring their fire service vans. Sam, after this conversation, I would like to challenge you to go back and find out what are the functions of the local government. They are supposed to provide fire stations. They are supposed to provide markets. They are supposed to build schools. They are supposed to build primary health centers. You get the point I'm trying to make here. Now, that's in an ideal situation. But you see, because in most of the states, I don't know if we should narrow this down to Rivers State. In most of the states, because the local governments are not even functional, people do not even know what the local government chairman needs to do for them. And sometimes, because of the magnanimity of some of the chief executives of the state, in ensuring that their projects cut across the nook and cranny of their state, they move into most of these local governments to perform even the functions of this local government chairman. But you see, Sam, I would like to say here clearly that the functions of the local government should be what we, the citizens, should hold them accountable to. It will be near impossible to come and tell a local government to come and construct a road of 10 kilometers, a road of 20 kilometers, or to come and start building infrastructures that run into billions. These are major projects that will be handled by either the second tier or the first tier of government, that's the federal government.
Truly.
These things I have pointed out and more are the actual responsibilities of the local government to provide security, to ensure that our farmers go to farm, to ensure that there is peace in their localities. You get the point I'm driving at here?
Yes, I
That's
do.
what they ought to do. Now to the question of what was the next question you asked? I didn't get it clear there.
Why people do not know these functions and how...
Now it falls back again to government. Sam, I do not know when last time you invited anybody there that is the staff of NOA, National Orientation Agency. They are not functional again in Nigeria, and I do not know why. So I want to also plead with those in authorities to start enlightening people. It is even important to people at the helm of affairs in the local government to enlighten people to know what the actual functions are, so that people will know the parameters to measure what they are doing and what they have done. Because quite frankly, if you do not let people understand what are your duties in government, people are veer off and start expecting that you're supposed to do gigantic projects that you do not have the purview or you do not have the financial know-how to do. You get the point I'm making?
Yes,
but when you bring it to their knowledge that these and these and these are what are the actual statutory responsibilities of the local council, then the people will be abreast. When they get informed, they now know what to ask for and what to demand. But Sam, you will agree with me that the elites, talking about the political class here, will not want to do that. Because of course they do not want, they always want to create an opportunity to run away when the citizens comes to demand for pure governance. And so they will not want, they will allow the citizens to remain in the dark. That's why I insist that organizations like NOA, there are NGOs here and there that should take up this responsibility to start enlightening our people, both in the rural, both in the urban areas, on the actual functions of most of these persons who've given our mandates to govern us, both at the local level, even both at the state level. Sam, it is only in this part of the world where I see people go to meet a lawmaker and tell a lawmaker that he's supposed to come and do projects. Sam, are you aware that a lot of people do not even know what the function of a lawmaker is?
Yes, I am aware.
People are ignorant. So you people, I know that you people in the media, you are actually trying your best to see how you enlighten us. But I think that you should go a step further to make researches and enlighten the people on the need for them to know what to hold the people accountable to at the local level, at the state level, and at the federal level.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Nsirim. It's been a wonderful time having conversations with you. Thank you for your time. Have yourself a beautiful day, sir.
Thanks so much.
Okay. So there you have it. Now, as to the media doing as much as it can, well, I wouldn't say we're doing our best because I don't like to use that word best, but more can be done. For the NOA that he talked about, I believe we have a program with the NOA every Wednesday or Thursday. I like to see them as our partners in progress. The NGO, the civil society space, a couple of them in this part of the country. SDN has a democracy program they run here. Search for Common Ground was running for a bit, talking about peace in the rural communities. And there are many people who have partnered with the media. I can, of course, speak for this brand to bring about enlightenment. Now, more can be done. You cannot learn enough. And so, I say very boldly, we're doing as much as we can, and of course, we intend to add more to that. Now, functions of the local government chairman. Now, this is the textbook provision. That means is what is on paper. So, as I read, if you have not felt this particular function from your local government chairman, then it's okay for you to ask questions. He monitors compliance with the rules described in financial regulations governing cash receipts. He supervises accountability and is liable for his actions not only during office hours but also after. Okay, this is a bit economic recommendations to the states. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Collection of taxes and fees, establishments of maintenance of cemeteries, burial grounds, homes for destitute or infirm, licensing of trucks, canoes, wheelbarrows, carts, and even bicycles. Wow. Establishment, maintenance, and regulation of markets, motor parks, and public conveniences. Construction and maintenance of certain roads, streets, drains, and other public highways, parks, and open spaces. But of course, certain means that is restricted to a particular kind. Naming of roads and streets and numbering of houses. I remember I learnt about this 2 or 3 years ago. Provision and maintenance of public transportation and refuse disposal. Registration of births, deaths, and marriages. Really? Assessment of privately owned houses or tenements for the purpose of levying such rates as may be prescribed by the House of Assembly of a state, and control and regulation of outdoor advertising, movement, and keeping of pets of all descriptions, shops and kiosks, restaurants and other places for the sale of food to the public, and laundries. Now, this is the functions as stated of the local government in Nigeria, not India, not Pakistan, not any other country, but the provisions. Now, the Constitution will, of course, broaden this a little bit more for you and I to understand the other things. So my question to you And of course, what you're taking from that conversation is, do you know your local government chairman? The second question is, what impact or change has come from the administration of that chairman? Do you also know the functions of that chairman? I have 7 minutes left on the clock. You and I can have this conversation. Let's talk. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. 0817-923-0007. WhatsApp is 080-903-06-416. Please turn off your radio. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother. Yesterday was Valentine's Day, nothing.
Okay.
So what? Are you standing with you?
All right. You're definitely not connected to this conversation. Thank you for calling. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, all right.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm Vitalis. How can I hold my local government accountable when no money allocated to the local government does not get to the local government? I know these things that local government should do, but I can't hold him responsible because the more allocation doesn't get to him. If allocation gets to him, I will definitely hold him accountable. Thank you.
I will, but my guest said the LG chairman said that the money gets to them. So what is going on? All right, come back if you can. Over to Facebook. Proof Mpapa says this is what is killing politics in Nigeria. Godfatherism. We have their way. Why can't the party allow candidates to test their popularity and allow the voice of the masses to prevail? It is vexatious. The LGAs should be given a level playing field for democracy to thrive. I'm certain he's talking about the consensus arrangement for the PDP. Professor Mpapa Kingdom, public analyst from Port Harcourt. Okay, thank you, Prof. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Sam.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Mr. Richard calling from Rumibo.
Go ahead.
Mr. Sam, I can tell you that I'm really disappointed in our public holders, public office holders. They seem to always play with our knowledge anyhow. You're talking to your guest, and he is just being agitated about everything. It's so sad.
No, he's not being agitated. He was trying to stress his point. That was not agitation.
No. Sam, don't worry. I listened to everything. He said things like everything was like a fight to him. You're taking the battle to him. It's wrong. My annoyer to judge him. Perhaps that's his personality. But coming on air, one should checkmate his actions because it's very, very important. In any case, my own local government chairman, and that's one that everybody always wants to make reference to, is Samuel Wanosike, and I think he has done very well. To be frank with you, he's the only person I'm proud of as of all the local government that I know of. That's local government chairman, sorry. That's the only person that seems to have done tangible with whatever he has. The rest are just there to just complete the spaces. And this puts into contention the need for us to check ourselves. Do we just want to do partisan election? Or do we want to really elect people of capacity into public administration? This guy has the capacity. That's why he's being trusted.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, for the record, as I said earlier, and it's important that I make that clear, the guest was chosen because he has the resource that we need, and I believe he was trying to express himself the best way he could. But thanks for listening. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Oracle. This is Gift calling from Yenagoa.
Talk to me, Gift.
Oracle, as far as I am concerned, what your guest told the whole of Nigeria, because I am calling from Yenagoa, not River State. I agree with him. Those local government chairmen, for once, should come out and cry to us, first of all, before we agree that the governors of Nigeria, all the 36 states, are oppressing them or collecting their funds. If they've not done that, there's no need of you defending or helping them to speak on behalf of them. Don't try it, Mr. Sam Oracle. I'm telling you, because each time a journalist will go to you, you will tell that journalist that everything is coming directly to you. Then at the same time, it is the public that is making excuses on behalf of this local government. Someone want to seek a time without number. He has been coming out telling people that outside from this job I'm doing, Mr. Governor for 1 second has not collected a dime from me. So with that word, you need to hold the other local government chairman responsible. What are you doing with your own? And even if today the governor is taking something from that fund, how come Mr. Wonosike is performing and this other person is not performing? You know your functions, you're not doing anything. Look at what Samuel Wonosike from day one that he entered that office. In terms of infrastructure, you talk about security, we know how that east-west road or whatever going to Wiri, that axis was. This man has taken care of all this. He has been going inside, deep down the forest to fight these guys. And people then were saying those guys are his friends, brothers. But we know what he did to those people. Allegedly, they were accusing him. But look at the local government. No other chairman has performed like this man with this capacity of funds. How much were they receiving before now when Goodluck was there and Amechi was the governor? Look at the amount the man is receiving. The same thing cut across to this other local government chairman. They should perform. And those ones that have not performed, thank God they've dropped them, including Obiakpo local government chairman. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Gift. I imagine that at this point, people from Ikwerre local government area must feel just a little bit prouder than those from other local government areas. And that's a valid question he asked. If one chairman seems to be performing, what's happening to the others? Let's go back to Facebook. John Africa, Chris. I like your name, John Africa. Good morning. The local government election in River State has conducted itself. What does that mean? Conducted itself. God bless the governor. All right, Henry Onoha. Please remind the guest that PDP printed only one nomination form for one candidate in all the local government areas. Chile, Edwin. So it was like selection? Wonders never end, he said. Pot calling kettle black. Good morning.
Hello, my brother.
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother. I called and my credit went off, so I have to reload back. That is why I'm calling. Please,
Hello? How then? Well, it seems you and Credit do not have a good relationship this morning. All right. It's midday. I believe that the news happens at this time. So get ready for it. Sam, my local government area, Abuadua, we know who we want as our chairman. Not Daniel, he says. Sam, this man has refused to give us light, bank, road, repair dilapidated schools and healthcare. Abuadua is a mess and will remain a mess, Daniel. Well, you need to understand, just as I said with my guest, the final question, what the functions of your chairman is. With light, as you said, power generation is a very complex issue, and it kind of goes above that office. But anyways, it's important to engage with your chairman, know who they are, understand the functions, so you can make demands that make sense. Andrew is here for the news. After that, we'll join BBC for Talk Your Own. Don't go anywhere.